Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel Legal Decipher. In the previous video, we had discussed about chapter 13 of the Indian Penal Code 1860. If you have not seen that video, you can go and check it. The link is in the description below. In today's video, we are going to discuss about chapter 14 of the Indian Penal Code. We'll go through the chapter and try to understand the substance therein. So if you are new here, please like and subscribe to my channel to get the video notifications. So let's get started. So today we are going to discuss about chapter 14 that deals with offences affecting the public health, safety, convenience, decency and morals. So it discusses about these 5 issues that relates to the public, that is their health, their safety, their convenience, their decency and their morals. So Section 268 talks about public nuisance. It says a person is guilty of a public nuisance who does any act or is guilty of an illegal omission. So either he does an act or he omits something that he was bound to do, and that makes such omission illegal, which causes any common injury, danger or annoyance to the public or to the people in general. So that offense or that illegal omission, that act or that illegal omission has caused common injury, danger or annoyance to the public or to the people in general who dwell or occupy property in the vicinity. So they have properties in the vicinity and they dwell there, or which must necessarily cause injury, obstruction, danger or annoyance to persons who may have occasion to use any public right. So either they dwell or has property in the vicinity where such nuisance is happening, or they have public right to access that place, and this act or illegal omission is actually causing injury, obstruction, danger or annoyance to those persons. Now a common nuisance is not excused on the ground that it causes some convenience or advantage. So that will not be an excuse. So this section basically defines what public nuisance is. Now section 269 talks about negligent act likely to spread infection of disease dangerous to life. So whoever unlawfully or negligently does any act which is and which he knows or has reasons to believe that this kind of act will very likely spread an infection or any disease that is dangerous to life, then this person shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months or with fine or with both. Section 270 talks about malignant act likely to spread infection of disease dangerous to life. So section 270 deals with those acts that are malignant and they are very likely to spread infection of disease that is dangerous to any human life. So whoever malignantly does any such act shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 2 years or with fine or with both. Now section 271 talks about disobedience to quarantine rule. So whoever knowingly disobeys any rule made and promulgated by the government for putting any vessel into a state of quarantine. So the government has made up its mind to put a vessel into the state of quarantine, or for regulating the intercourse of vessels in a state of quarantine with the shore or with other vessels. So this vessel is kept in a separate position so that it does not mingle with the other vessels or it does not reach the shore. For regulating the intercourse between places where an infectious disease prevails and other place. So this boat may have come from a place where such infectious disease is spreading. Now to contain that spreading, this boat is not allowed to reach the shore, and if that is disobeyed, then such person who will disobey such quarantine rule will be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months or with fine or with both. Now section 272 deals with adulteration of food or drink intended for sale. So what is adulteration? Adulteration means the mixing of foreign articles. That means the mixing of such kind of articles that are not intended to be mixed to foods or drinks. So they are foreign particles to that food or drink. They shall not be mixed with that food or drink. If they are mixed, then such food or drink will become unhealthy for consumption. So that means mixing of things that are not supposed to be mixed in such food or drink. So whoever adulterates any article of food or drink so as to make such article noxious as food or drink, and intending to sell such article as food or drink, or knowingly that it likely would be sold as food or drink. So he knows that I will adulterate this food or drink and then it will be sold. Then this person who has so adulterated such food or drink shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 273 talks about sale of noxious food or drink. So now the case is that the food or drink that is to be sold is entirely noxious. So it is not adulterated, it is entirely noxious. So whoever does so will be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 274 talks about adulteration of drugs. Here drugs means life-saving drug, which means generally medicines or any kind of vaccines or something like that. So whoever adulterates any drug or medical preparation in such manner as to lessen the efficacy or change the operation of such drug or medical preparation, or to make it noxious, then in that case, if he knows that this product will be out for sale for medicinal purposes, then he shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now let's move on to the next section, that is section 275, which talks about sale of adulterated drugs. So whoever sells those adulterated drugs, that seller will be punishable under this section, and he will be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 276 talks about sale of drug as a different drug or preparation. So the drug is not that kind of adulterated, it is just of a different composition or different preparation. Now every general person may understand this, that if a drug is there for a disease, then that is made up of a special preparation or special composition. Each drug has its own unique preparation and composition. We cannot change or alter it. If we change or alter it, then chances are that the medicine would either be not working, or it may be showing adverse effects on the body if taken. Then that would be extremely harmful to the human health. Now whoever does so, whoever alters the preparation or composition of such drug and then sells it, then that person will be punished with imprisonment for either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 277 talks about fouling water or public spring or reservoir. So if there is any public spring or reservoir to which the public at general has access to, they use the water of such public spring or reservoir. Now this person is trying to foul that water. For doing that, he will be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 months, or with fine which may extend to 500 rupees, or with both. Now section 278 talks about making atmosphere noxious to health. So we all know the need of a pure atmosphere around us. If anyone is trying to make that atmosphere noxious for the public health, that is the health of the human beings that are in that atmosphere, so whoever does so will be punished with fine which may extend to 500 rupees. Now let's move on to section 279 that talks about rash driving or riding on a public way. So whoever drives any vehicle or rides on any public way in a manner so rash or negligent as to endanger human life. So he is either driving a vehicle or he is riding a vehicle on a public way, and he is doing so in a manner that is so rash or so negligent that it will endanger human life. So that is called a rash driving or riding. For doing that, this person will be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 280 talks about rash navigation of vessel. Whoever does this to a vessel that is on water, he is rash navigating it. So for that, if he endangers human life or causes hurt or injury to any other person, then he shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine, or with which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 281 talks about exhibition of false light, mark or buoy. So whoever exhibits any false light, mark or buoy, intending or knowing it to be likely that such exhibition will mislead any navigator. So let's understand this. Say for example, there is a boat or a vessel in the water. Now for navigating in the water, we do not have milestones there. We have lights that show the way, or marks or buoys that generally floats in the water to show the way and the navigation for such vessel or boat, so that it finds its way back to the shores. Now whoever exhibits any false light or mark or buoy, that those navigations are with the intention, or he knows that this will very likely mislead any navigator. So this person who was driving a vessel or a boat intends to reach the shore, but this person who is exhibiting such false light, mark or buoy knows that such false mark, light or buoy would mislead such boat or vessel, so that it does not reach the shore, it gets lost in the high seas. So this person will be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 7 years, or with fine, or with both. Now section 282 talks about conveying person by water for hire in unsafe or overloaded vessel. So whoever knowingly or negligently conveys or causes to be conveyed for hire any person by water in any vessel, when that vessel is in such a state or so loaded as to endanger the life of that person. So what happens is that this person intends to use that boat or vessel to go somewhere through waterway. Now the person who is in charge of that boat or vessel knows that this boat is in such a condition that it will very likely endanger the life of that person. Say for example, it is in such an unhealthy state, or it may be so loaded that it will drown, or it will very possibly, very likely endanger the life of that person who intends to use it. Then this person who knew about all the problems but still he did not make that person aware, this person shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 283 talks about danger or obstruction in public way or line of navigation. So whoever by doing any act or by omitting to take order with any property in his possession or under his charge causes danger, obstruction or injury to any person in any public way or public line of navigation. So what does this person do? He does any act or he omits to take any order in regard to a property that is in his possession or under his charge, and thereby by doing such act and by omitting to take such order, he causes danger, obstruction or injury to any person in any public way or public line of navigation. Then this person will be punished under this section with fine which may extend to 2000 rupees. Now section 284 talks about negligent conduct with respect to poisonous substance. So he knows that the substance that he has is poisonous, and he is in charge of that substance, but he acts in a manner so rash or negligent as to endanger human life. So he does not take proper care of that poisonous substance, and by such negligence or rash act he endangers the human life, or he likely causes hurt or injury to any person, or knowingly or negligently he omits to take such order with any poisonous substance in his possession,
as it is sufficient to guard against any probable danger to human life from such poisonous substance. So he was in charge to take sufficient guard, but he did not do so. Then in all those cases he shall be punished with imprisonment for either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 285 talks about negligent conduct with respect to fire or combustible matter. So whoever does with fire or any combustible matter any act so rashly or negligently as to endanger human life. So this person is basically playing with fire or combustible matters that can easily catch fire. So if he was rash or negligent with fire or any kind of matter that will easily catch fire, then this person, if he knowingly or negligently omitted to take such order or did such act of rash and negligent nature, then he will be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Section 286 talks about negligent conduct with respect to explosive substance. Now he is playing with an explosive substance, a substance that may explode at any time. So if he does any kind of rash or negligent act, or he omitted to take such order and did not take sufficient guard against such substance, and for that danger to human life either occurred or was very likely to occur, then in that case he shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Section 287 talks about negligent conduct with respect to machinery. So whoever does the same kind of negligent or rash act with a machinery, so this time a machinery is involved, and he knowingly or negligently omitted to take such order or sufficient guard, and that's why probable danger to human life occurred. So he will be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 288 talks about negligent conduct with respect of pulling down or repairing buildings. So this time a building was being repaired or it was being pulled down. That means the building was destroyed. Now we have all seen that new buildings are made by pulling down an old building. So first the old building is destroyed down, and then the new building is made in that place. So in that course, when pulling down such a building or repairing such a building, if any person had to take such precautions and he did not sufficiently guard it, or he did an act that was so rash or negligent, and he knew or he knowingly did so or negligently omitted to take such order that he needed to take, then in all of those cases he shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 289 talks about negligent conduct with respect to animal. Now an animal is involved. So whoever knowingly or negligently omitted to take such order in respect of any animal that was in his possession, and he did not take sufficient guard against it, so probable danger to human life occurred, or any probable danger of grievous hurt from such animal was very likely to occur, then he shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees, or with both. Now section 290 talks about punishment for public nuisance in cases not otherwise provided for. So whoever commits a public nuisance in any case which is not otherwise punishable in this code, so there is nowhere in this code written any punishment for such public nuisance, that will be covered under this section, and he shall be punished with fine which may extend to 200 rupees. Now, section 291 talks about continuance of nuisance after injunction to discontinue. So whoever repeats or continues a public nuisance after he has been injuncted to, so he has an order of injunction against him not to repeat or continue such nuisance, but he breaks conditions of such injunction and he continues or repeats such public nuisance, then in that case he shall be punished with simple imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine, or with both. Now section 292 talks about sale etc. of obscene books etc. So this is a very descriptive section. It contains all those things that are obscene. Say for example, a book, pamphlet, paper, writing, drawing, painting, representation, figure, or any other object, it shall be deemed to be obscene if it is lascivious or appeals to the prurient interest, or if its effect or where it comprises two or more distinct items, the effect of any one of its items is, if taken as a whole, such as to tend to deprave and corrupt persons who are likely, having regard to all relevant circumstances, to read, see or hear the matter contained or embodied in it. So it is against the moral code. It may be anything that is blasphemous, it may be anything that relates to pornography or anything like that. All of those fall under obscene books. So whoever sells, lets to hire, distributes or publicly exhibits in any manner, or he puts into circulation for the purposes of these things, that is sale, hire, distribution, public exhibition or circulation, or if he makes, produces or has in his possession any such obscene book, pamphlet, paper, drawing, painting, representation or figure, or any other obscene object whatsoever, or if he imports, exports or conveys any such thing, or if he takes part or receives profit from any such business that conducts the dealing of such obscene books, or if he advertises or makes known by any means whatsoever that any person is engaged or is ready to engage in such act that makes it an offense under this section, or that any such obscene object can be procured from or through any person, or if he offers or attempts to do any act which is an offense under this section in general. So all of these will be thought to be an offense under this section, and that person who is so dealing in that offense shall be punished on first conviction with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 2 years, and with fine which may extend to 2000 rupees. So for the first time when he does so, he will be imprisoned with 2 years, punished with imprisonment of 2 years, and he will be fined 2000 rupees. And if a second or subsequent conviction happens, so he again does so, then in that case he will be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 5 years. This time he will be imprisoned for 5 years, and he will be fined up to 5000 rupees. Now what is the exception to this section? This section does not extend to any book, pamphlet, paper, writing, drawing, painting, representation or figure, the publication of which is proved to be justified as being for the public good. So if it is done in public good, then it is not covered under this section. And if it is done for the interest of science, literature, art or learning or other objects of general concern, then that will also not fall under this section. Or if it is kept or used for bona fide or religious purposes, or if it is used in representing any sculpture, engraved, painting or any other representation in any ancient monument within the meaning of Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act, or any temple, or on any car used for the conveyance of idols or kept or used for any religious purposes. So that will not include under this section. Now section 293 talks about sale etc. of obscene objects to young persons. So what happens now is that this sale of obscene objects are now done to the young persons. So if anyone sells any such obscene object or books or etc. to any young person, then in the first conviction he will be imprisoned with 3 years and he will be fined 2000 rupees, and in any second or subsequent conviction he will be imprisoned for 7 years, or he may be fined for 5000 rupees. So that is the maximum extent of punishment for the subsequent time. Now section 294 talks about obscene acts and songs. So whoever to the annoyance of others does any obscene act in a public place, or sings, recites or utters any obscene song, ballad or words in or near any public place, then in all of those cases that person shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 months, or with fine, or with both. Now let's move on to the last section of this chapter, that is 294A, which talks about keeping lottery office. So whoever keeps any office or place for the purpose of drawing any lottery which is not being a state lottery. So we all know that the state governments issue valid lottery, that does not fall under this section. This section covers those illegal lotteries that are conducted by such persons, and for that purpose he keeps any office or place for the purpose of drawing such lottery. Then for that reason he shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 6 months, or with fine, or with both. And whoever publishes any proposal to pay any sum, or to deliver any good, or to do or forbear doing anything for the benefit of any person on any event of contingency relative or applicable to the drawing of any ticket, lot, number, or figure in any such lottery, then that person shall be punished with fine which may extend to 1000 rupees.
So that's all in this video. If you like my videos, then don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.